Many of you are moving to new states, new cities, new schools, starting new jobs, just new everything. And some of you are shy, some of you are just loners. Some of you have no interest in making friends, and that's okay. If that makes you happy and that's what you want, then do what makes you happy. But if you are somebody who's shy or not used to being outgoing, but you want to start and you want to make friends, especially making a fresh new start, I have a couple of tips for you. I've always been a very shy person, believe it or not, but I was able to make friends with a few simple things that I've always done. And it's easier when you do this right from the get-go. First day of class, you walk in, look at everybody, look at them in the eye, and say hi, or hey, or what's up, or whatever it is that you folks say. Because when you come in a room and you've got your head down, you're closing yourself off to the opportunity to meet people, because they're thinking, body language is huge, so they're thinking this person doesn't want to be bothered, doesn't want to talk to me, and they might be feeling a little shy too, so you're not giving them an opening. So just look at people in the eye, smile, nod at least. Even if you're so shy you can't even open your mouth, at least smile and nod to acknowledge the other person. Not only that, it's just good manners to say hello. And then of course you got some simple things. You get there before class a little early, or you're at your job a little early, or a break or lunch. You start with something a little simple, like asking somebody a question. And don't ask them a yes or no question, because then the conversation just stops right there. So you might want to say, what's your favorite place to have lunch? And maybe mention a place, and you'd be like, hey, well, you want to have a slice of pizza with me? Say there's a few people, and so you're the only person, so you feel a little out of place, but you want to join in this group. You just say, hey, you guys want to join me for pizza or at lunch, or do you mind if I join you? So make that first, because it gets harder the longer like you're there for a year and now you want to join in. It's a little more difficult, but don't let that stop you. Even if it's been a year or 10 years, finally just break in, and you know what? Just do it. And most people are nice and kind, and they're like, yeah, come on. Maybe they thought you just didn't like them, because you're giving off those vibes, not looking at people and just not talking. So maybe they just think you're mean, even though you're not, or they think that you don't like them, and that may not be the case. So you have to be open. Look at your body language. Don't cross your arms in front of you when you're crossing your arms in front of you like this. Well, I only have one arm to show you, but crossing your arms or looking down and away from people, or in the elevator, how everyone just stands there like you're listening to the music. It's so awkward. I just say, hey, hi, how are you? You're just less uncomfortable if you say something. So don't stand in this room or elevator or wherever and not say anything. Even standing in the grocery line, I start up a conversation. I know the person's whole life story before I'm checked out, and I usually have made a new friend. It may not be somebody I'm hanging out with on a day-to-day basis, but maybe when I see him around town, or maybe we end up emailing each other, or we end up becoming friends on YouTube. Some of the other things to meet people, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't know enough people, or there's not enough people at work, or I work at home and I want to meet some people. Join clubs. If you're religious, go to church, do whatever functions they do. Art, if you're in art, even if you're not, join a club and learn something new. Photography classes, art classes, volunteer. If you're broke and you don't have money to join classes, volunteer. It's free and you're helping others. Keep in mind, this world is not just about us, it's about others. And I know some people say, but I give and I give and I give. It's not about the receiving. When you give, you should feel good about it. Now, being taken advantage of is a whole nother story. But find people who really need your help. Do you know how many seniors are down here in Florida and in the rest of this country or the world? Go visit them. Play some cards. Ask them to tell stories about the old days. They love doing that. or they might want to hear about your stories. They just need companionship. There's the homeless shelters you could volunteer at, whatever your thing is. The animal shelters, volunteer. You'll meet, and then what's great about that is usually you will meet people who have the same interests as you. So then you can go from there. Like our art center they were having this where you do art and wine and art. How nice is that? Painting and having a glass of wine. I thought that was a great idea for people who like art and drinking a little wine. I wouldn't be driving, of course, so I'd make sure I have someone picking me up if I were to have joined that club. But there's just so many different things that you could do to meet people. You have to get out of your comfort zone because you'll meet the most interesting people you never thought you would meet from all backgrounds. So they don't have to have the same background as you to be friends. People come from all over the world, from different places, and it's the most interesting thing. People are very interesting. If you've had bad experiences up to now, it's time to make a change. Be more positive yourself. Give off those positive vibes by smiling, nodding, hello, or offer them a piece of candy, or offer to buy a cup of coffee to have them join you. Something, and you'll have friends in no time. I know a lot of you are making big changes in your life, and it's a little scary, especially if you're alone and you're not married, or you don't have kids, or you don't have a whole lot of friends or family. I think humans kind of need each other. We need people to care about us, and we need to care about others. I mean, I know there's some of you who don't, so I don't think you're still watching this video if you're one of them. But if you're still watching this video, then maybe you agree with me that we do need each other, and there are wonderful people out there. Like I said, I've met so many wonderful people, and I met you folks online, so it doesn't have to be always on, in person. That's why I said starting your YouTube channel would be really great, because you can meet people. But it's hard for people to get to know you unless they see your face and you talking, so they can see your personality, because it doesn't always come across like when you're typing. Sometimes people can't really get to know you that way. Give it a shot. Tell me if you have done this, or if you're going to do it, if you decided you're going to do this and take the leap. I would just love to hear your story. Tell me how it went. If it went badly, let us know and tell us exactly what you did and what they did. Now, you'll find some people who seem very nasty, just not nice, and they're kind of rude. And you're like, what the heck? Here I am smiling and nodding and I'm being nice to them, and they're being rude. There's no excuse for that. But I still say try to be nice and kind to them, because maybe they are just miserable. Maybe they're sick and you don't know it. Just because they look okay doesn't mean that they are okay. Maybe they've got a kid who's sick. Maybe they got a parent who just passed, or a brother or sister or something. Maybe they just got divorced or getting divorced, or some horrible thing is happening in their life, and they're just going through a hard time. And maybe they've just been miserable since they were a kid, because they just didn't know how to make friends, and they just closed themselves off, and they found it was just easier to push people away. So don't give up on them either. Always be kind to them. And maybe you even want to ask them to join you for coffee. Maybe they'll say no the first time, and maybe the second time, and the 10th time. And maybe you bring them a cup of coffee or something that they like, a cookie. And just keep showing that kindness. See what happens. I mean, you got nothing to lose. I always say you got nothing to lose to try these things. And you being negative to somebody else, or being mean back to them, it doesn't help anything. It makes you might feel good at the moment while you're letting off steam, but then you're going to be like, well, that didn't do anything. They're still nasty, and I just became a little bit more like them. I don't think you'd want to do that. Most of my viewers seem to be very nice people. I get some people who are kind of negative and some kind of just nasty. But yeah, it takes all kinds of people to make this world an interesting place. Well, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like, and we'll see you tomorrow.